Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to the last video of the Marvel series. We are almost done. This is the last one. I've saved the best for last for this. I'm super excited to go over this set. This is one of my favorite builds that I've ever done. This being the last one, doesn't mean it's going to be the last Marvel one I ever do, just for this series. But we do have a lot to cover in this video, from all of the characters in this set, from all every little detail that's in here. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. Alright, so this is the Lego Daily Bugle, and this is Lego set 76168, and it has 3,772 pieces in the set. This is a colossal set, and this Lego set stands almost 3 feet tall. It is awesome. By far the biggest build. I mean, just piece-wise, size-wise, character-wise, it is a huge build, but it's so much fun to do. I highly recommend buying this. If you are any kind of Marvel fan, if you're just a Spider-Man fan, please get this set. It is worth it. Now, this is one of the Lego modular builds, so it does fit in with all of the other modular buildings. And that's really cool because I was able to connect it with my Sanctum Sanctorum. There is a little issue with the, I guess the pins on the sides. I looked up a bunch of YouTube videos. It is correct how it is in the instructions, but you do have to move over a piece. If you put it on this side, you have to move it over one piece. If you move it on the other side, there is a it's a brick with 3 holes in it, and you're able to put the prong into one of those holes. So that one fits on that side. It worked out for me. I put it on that side. It looks great together. And I'm super excited for the Avengers Tower that's gonna come out. Hopefully I'll be able to place that one right next to it on this side. It'll be awesome diorama for my display. All right, so let's talk about the actual build of this one. So what's nice about this is it is in sections. So you build it from bottom tier, second tier, third tier, fourth tier. So you build it from the bottom up. And the bottom definitely takes the longest, and that one unfortunately doesn't have pieces that open up like the front of this. All of these sections on the front of the building come off, and you're able to place them in different spots. Now on the bottom, it has to be the strongest because it is the foundation of the whole building. And this thing does weigh quite a bit. So on the bottom, you can't actually open up the front. However, there is a sliding door. So it's operational, cool play feature. I always love the play features in these 18+ sets. And on the side, there is a little piece of rock that comes out, and you're able to look in the building, pull some stuff out of there. I'll show some close-ups of that in a second. Now to show you just how easy it comes apart, I'm gonna go ahead and take off Doc Ock here. So I have him kind of just attached to the front. So we'll take him off. We're gonna detach Spidey from the front here. Okay, so he's just hanging now, and you can just pull the entire top of the building right off, and you can set it down. I have Venom back here, he's gonna fall. And then the front of the building will usually come off, I think. And then you have the second floor. So second floor has this awesome piece of the Green Goblin shooting out. It looks like he's breaking through the building. It reminds me of the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire back in early 2000. That is my Spider-Man. I loved those movies when I was a kid. I still love those movies. Those movies did so much for other superhero movies now in the MCU. I mean, it paved the way. So seeing that kind of incorporated in this is really cool. But this does come off, so you can just pull it right off. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the whole second story off. Boom, that part comes off. Put that front there. Now we're down to just the last two. And what's a little bit interesting here, so these bottom two, they are actually a little bit more depth. They have more depth to them than these two. They're a little bit skinnier. Not by a whole lot. It looks like about 4 studs. So it's about 4 studs thicker than these two. So you have a little balcony. There's actually a little door on that second story, the third story there, that you're able to get your minifigures in and out of. And then this, pull off the second story here. That comes right off. We do have the fire escape there at the front of these signs. It looks like. To put that down a little bit. Being such a big set, it does kind of come loose in some spots, so you do have to kind of push it down. I have figured out, maybe it was because I transported mine, but I do have to push it down every once in a while, kind of lock things down once in a while. And then you are down, let's move this out of the way. to the last story here. Now, what is nice about the front doesn't open up on this one, but you do have full access from the top. So, and if you are going to play with this set, maybe you got this set for your kids, they are able to play with just this section. I don't recommend this set for kids. I really don't. It is not packed full of play features. Like I said, these do come off, but these are pretty fragile. I mean, I dropped one getting ready for this, and it did kind of come apart. I didn't drop it too far. It was only about 6 inches. So dropping it 6 inches and it does kind of come apart, it does worry me that for kids, this was not much of a play set. But such a cool set to display. It's such a cool set to just have in your house or in your collection. Okay, so let's look at the back side of this now. So on the bottom, you do have an alleyway, and this really works out for when you connect to modules because the modules also have an alleyway. So they connect really nicely together. Even on the sides, there is a nice alleyway for the sides. And the alleyways look great too. They have trash cans, they have boxes, it looks like garbage. There's actually on this side a little rat, and that is a reference to Infinity War when the rat gets them out of the quantum realm. So a bunch of stuff on the backside here. So like I said, you have 2 characters. I have them set up just like they come out of the box. But I have Punisher and Carnage kind of going at each other here. And then we have the 2 dumpsters that do open up, and there is garbage and stuff in there. And then we have a little air conditioner and a little bird that sits on it. You have these awesome street lights. The little details I love in Lego sets, because the street lights on this set, there's 2 of them, are really interesting. They're not street lights, I guess, they're building lights, but yeah, really, really neat lights how they did it and what they used to do it. And this is really neat. So this is a reference to the video games when you would look for Peter's backpacks. And on the back side, this little web folds up, and there is, let's see if I can grab it, a backpack piece. Pretty interesting, pretty neat. It is interesting how they incorporated so many different Spider-Man universe, Spider-Verse things into this one set. And as you go through it, you actually see these things more and more. So again, cool little Easter eggs they leave throughout the whole building. On the top here, we do have Catwoman. So this is one of the exclusive minifigs for this set. And then she is holding a diamond, she has her whip out, and she has a really nice hairpiece on her. When we get to the details of the minifigs, I'll go through more. And then she is on the balcony. So the balcony actually opens up so you can get inside of the building. And like I said before, the top 2 tiers of the building are a little bit skinnier than the bottom, so that's how you have this little balcony in the back. That door does open up. Then you have Miles and Venom. They're fighting. They're both connected to the sign here, and they're fighting. Get J. Jonah Jameson on there. It says just the facts, which we know that J. Jonah Jameson is not giving the facts, but love him in the movies. And then we have another little air conditioner, another little bird's nest. And then at the very tip top, this is an extra minifig, one of my minifigs that I just put there. He does not come with the set, but we do have the water tower, and on the water tower there are stickers, or I think they are stickers. I remember putting stickers. There's a lot of stickers on this one. Of a Green Goblin, like spray paint, and then Miles Morales, you have his sticker on there. And you can kind of see what is going on the roof, of how the water tower and the tower, I guess this is an antenna, connect. And then you have another minifig, and she's flying up here. I remember her name, Star something, Starfire. No, it's not Starfire, but different universe. On the side of the building, you have a bunch of minifigs. They're climbing what is the fire escape. This is actually a really neat part of the set. I like they made it all red. It really makes it pop. But it's just like a random New York City, Chicago style fire escape on the side of this building, like there really would be. I'm really glad they incorporated that. I think without it, it would make the sides of this kind of boring. And at the bottom here, you do have the newsstand, and we'll get to that in a second. If you turn it to the other side, see a little bit more of how that breaks out, and then you have the spider buggy. So the spider buggy is in the comics, it's in a couple of movies like Across the Spider-Verse and the Spider-Verse. I believe in Across the Spider-Verse though, it is sentient. It is actually one of the variants of Spider-Man. So that's pretty neat that they included that. I don't know, it doesn't say that it is a part, like it's sentient in this one. Maybe it is. I'm sure that'd be up to you as the builder. Okay, so let's start going through the layers of this building. So we're just gonna start at the top. And if you take the top off, let Let me get Doc Ock off here. Really cool minifig. I can't wait to really go over these minifigs. So Spider-Man come off again, pop him off. And then I have War Machine flying there. War Machine does not come with the set, another extra character I had. So on the very top, you do have J. Jonah Jameson's office. There's some really cool pieces within that office. The desk and the chairs and everything in the offices are done really well. He's obviously got the nicest office, so it's got glass windows, a glass door. It's got the nicer computer. And then Betty Bryant, his assistant, she is in the next room, right in front of the elevator. I love the addition of the elevator in this set because it doesn't work, but it just does look really good in the set. So I'm glad that they added that in. She's sitting there, she's doing her work, she's got a nicer office too. And there's multiple places where you can there's studs down where you can put other characters, you can, get them out, make them walk around. It looks really nice. And if you take off the second piece here, so we're gonna go ahead and bring down the Green Goblin. The front of that part of that room, it is a little bit different when it comes to how the front glass here does set in there. It does have two studs on the back side of it that clip in. So you can move this to the top if you wanted to make it a little bit more movie accurate when the Green Goblin kind of goes through the office of J. Jonah Jameson. But it does have it doesn't connect as well as you'd hope it would. Place that there. So on the second story, this is one of my favorite things that they put in this. Like I mentioned before, there's a ton of little Easter eggs from all sorts of Spider-Man universes. And they put the Spider-Man meme in this set, and I think it's fantastic. You have the green wall in the back, the picture of Spider-Man. I have Peter Parker sitting there, but you can obviously put Spider-Man in there and make the meme. It is fantastic. I can't believe that actually made it into this set. In the room next to it looks like more of an abandoned room. We do know Peter Parker is not really liked in the Daily Bugle. Well, I shouldn't say that. Some of the characters do like Spider-Man, but J. Jonah Jameson is not nice to Peter Parker. So, in the next room, you do have the elevator. There's a spider web, a spider in there, a camera, and a working copy machine. This is really neat. Again, just a little bit detailed of a piece, but I love it. It kind of reminds me of the refrigerator that is in the Sanctum Sanctorum. There's just a lot of detail in there, and you don't really need it, but I appreciate that they put that in there. Overall, this section is awesome. I love it. One of my favorite parts of this build, like I said, just because they put the meme in there. All right, so we go down to the third. Technically, it's the second story. On the front of this one, you do have some stickers, and it looks like screens that would be going around the building. It has on there, is Spider-Man to blame? And you see J. Jonah Jameson, and looks like he's yelling at the screen. You have Scarlet Spider in the picture, but he doesn't come with the set. And then you do have the Sinister Six. This was earlier today. Breaking news. It says, villains promise to stop being bad guys. Can they be trusted? Obviously not, as they are attacking the Daily Bugle. So on this bottom one, this is the biggest room of the whole set because the other sets, or the other sections of this build are separated. And this one is one big section. There is a pole that goes in the middle. I think that is more for support, but does have a ton of stuff in this room. So there are two minifig characters, and then there is a bunch of newspapers on the wall. Like one says Spider-Man finally unmasked. One says, Times Square, or Time Scare, and you see the Green Goblin. I think that's referring to, again, the early Tobey Maguire movies of Spider-Man when the Green Goblin attacks the parade. There's a water machine in there, stacks of newspapers, a whole area with a little coffee desk. It's got a little coffee pot, a coffee cup, donuts that are on there. There's screens, plenty of stickers that are in this part. This is a very, very detailed part of the building, and again, I love the amount of detail that is in there. I think what makes this set is all of the small details in the set, especially on the outside. The outside is kind of boring. It's just gray walls and glass. It gets very repetitive when you're building it. However, the inside, when you are doing the inside, is awesome. It is just so cool when you're placing each piece and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I know what this is referencing to. Now at the very bottom here, we are going to start talking about the outside front here. And you have Sandman fighting Daredevil. Another exclusive minifig to this set is Daredevil. And I love that they have the checkered tile outside the door. It's really nice. I think that adds a really good touch just to the front of the door. Now the bottom layer does have a green tile floor. I don't know how I feel about it still. It seems, I don't know. I don't think I would have chosen green. But you have Sandman fighting him here, and this Sandman figure is the first time I've ever seen it. I think it has been used on another set. I'm not sure if this one's unique. I'll have to check on that. But I do love the Sandman minifig. It is really cool how it's printed, and one arm is a different color. And you have Aunt May. She is running away with a plate of cookies. I think she was bringing cookies to Peter Parker, who knows. She's going by the newsstand. Now inside of this bottom layer, you do have a waiting room. There are 2 minifigs that are waiting inside of the inside of the lobby of the Daily Bugle. There is a security stand. I put some extra pieces back there, that way I just don't lose them. One of Catwoman's extra whips is back there. I think there's another extra weapon that I kind of put back there. And then there's some pieces that I'll pull out and kind of play with her in the set that are just cool to see. So that is mainly the building. That is what comes on the building. That's what is the building. Oh, I didn't talk about the big sign. So let's talk about the Daily Bugle sign real quick. It is really nice, really nicely done how they've done this. And it just looks good. Like sometimes you have an idea and sometimes it doesn't look good. This looked really good on the set. Again, it's all red, so it really pops. And I like how they did the actual bugle at the top there. It just makes it 3D. I'm glad they didn't put stickers or anything. I would have been a nightmare to have some big giant stickers up there. And what adds the height to this, if you notice, I had to widen my camera angle to fit this whole building in here. What adds the height is the antenna at the very tip top here, and you have a minifig who is flying. Overall, again, this set was amazing to build. It looks amazing for display purposes. I do want to get the lights for it. I think a lighting kit would make this set even more just poppy and rich and really show everything. But now that we've gone through everything, let's go ahead and start talking about all of the minifigs. We're gonna talk about 3 minifigures at a time here, and right now we have Sandman, Doc Ock, and the Green Goblin. So I have left all their attachments here, and on the Goblin, we do have leg printing, chest printing, and 2 different faces on there. And we have his glider, and I believe he does, yep, on the back, have printing. So does Sandman, so does Doc Ock. You can't see it there under his arms, but he does have printing on his back. So if we take a look at Sandman, he is really interesting. So he does have a piece that connects straight to his body, but then there is a couple pieces that look like he's coming out of the ground, where I have him attached to makes him look like he's coming out of the sidewalk. So he becomes a really tall character. Doc Ock, for the first time, we are seeing him with these arms that are made of very small different pieces. These pieces are fine. I've seen people complain that they fall apart. I have seen people that say that they're strong and they keep together. My experience with them has been kind of both. A lot of the arms are really strong, and then I sometimes will like barely touch it and they fall off. So I think it just kind of depends on how well you put it together yourself. I don't find it too easy to configure the arms. I think that is a little bit more difficult of getting him to be the way I want him to be for display reasons. It is a little bit harder to get him, but I do love how he looks, his face, the goggles, the printing on him. He looks fantastic. So these 3 minifigures are great. I have really no complaints on how they look. I think these are definitely worth having in this set. All right, for our next set of characters, we have Carnage, Venom, and the Punisher. The Punisher is actually one of my favorite minifigs. I didn't really know that he had never come in another set, so this is the first time we're seeing him too. And then we have the Carnage and Venom. I love Carnage and Venom. They're one of my favorite villains out of the Spider-Man series. And the Venom movie, unfortunately, with Carnage and Venom in it was a little lackluster, but at least we got to see them on the big screen. So seeing them in a set is really nice. I think there's some really iconic characters that are from the Spider-Man franchise. I know everybody is wanting to see Venom in the MCU. I also am happy that we did get kind of a cutscene where there might be a chance of that. I unfortunately don't know if we'll see Carnage in the MCU. He is a bit too scary. Even Sony, I wish they would have made the movie rated R and just made Carnage what he is sometimes in the comics, because he is a scary character. Now these characters all do have great printing on them. Carnage, you do get leg printing with him. They all have chest printing, they all have face printing. I've seen people kind of complain about Venom. Sometimes I guess the pigment of the printing on his face or the chest isn't like great. I have no issues with mine, I think mine looks great. Punisher, you do get a little bit of back printing, and then on Venom and Carnage, I don't believe you do. Carnage, you might have to look under his back plate, but on the back of his head, we do get a little bit of printing. So again, overall, great minifigs. I left there were weapons and everything on them. I was very happy with these minifigs. So as we were getting down to the last of the villains, we'll start with Mysterio. So apparently, as I have watched other, videos and done my research on him, this is the first time we have this configuration of his parts, but all these parts are reused. But I think he looks fantastic. Again, Mysterio is one of my favorite villains. I remember playing the video game on PlayStation with Mysterio, and I always thought he was so cool. I'm glad, thank you Lego, for giving us a cloth cape. Thank you so much for that. I love his gold hands though. I love his little gold bits on him, and the dome looks really nice. And then we have Black Cat, and again, she isn't really a villain. She's kind of anti-hero, I would say, but she looks really good. I think she has the same legs as Punisher, but she's got front printing on her chest, on her face. Mysterio, there is no face on him under that dome, and I believe he does have back printing. Let's check. He does have back printing under the cape. With Black Cat, we do get this awesome white hairpiece, and then she does have a little bit of back printing on her as well. Now I do, if you notice, I do have the spider buggy in here. Again, I don't know if he's supposed to be a character in this. He is on the side of the building. In the Across the Spider-Verse movie, he is sentient. I don't know if there was supposed to be just a drivable thing. It doesn't say on the box. I don't remember in the instructions. If it says, the instructions are really cool. If you have time, definitely look at the instructions, because it's a whole book. Or if you just, are you gonna buy this, definitely read the book. It is awesome. They kind of go through everything on there. So I'll have to go through there and see if he is considered a character in this set. Here are these three. All right, we got a lot of red going on here because we have Spider-Man, Spider-Pig, and Daredevil. So Daredevil being an exclusive figure for this set, they've never made him before. I loved the old Daredevil movies. So I thought it was a kind of cool one that they put in there. Spider-Man, of course, he's got full printing on him with the red boots. He's got back printing, the back of his head has printing, and his arms have printing. And then we have Spider-Pig. I'm so glad that they put him in this set. He does have the shorter legs, and he was definitely a fan favorite of Into the Spider-Verse, so really glad that they put him in there, and he's got his eyes on his snout. We can do a full spin of them and kind of show off all the printing, the different spider symbols that are on their backs, and then Daredevil with just the back of his is all printed. So, love the red horn piece. I do think it makes his head look a bit big, but it does look pretty cool. All put together. So definitely great minifigs for the set. All right, so getting to the last of the superheroes, we have Firestar, and I love this minifig. I think she looks really good. She's got back printing, the red hair piece, and the flames on her hands there. She looks really good. I didn't know much about her, but as it turns out, I definitely did watch the cartoon as a kid, Spider-Man and Friends, and she was in it. We do get what is the guy's name? He's the water-based guy. It might be some kind of water, aqua, I don't know, I'd have to look. Transitioning into the regular minifigs though, we have Betty Bryant and J. Jonah Jameson. J. Jonah Jameson does come with a second face. I believe it is him yelling. This looks like the hairpiece that is on one of the Doctor Strange figs that I have, but it is gray instead of black with the gray on the side. So really good printing on these guys. I don't think, oh, he does. J. Jonah Jameson does have a bit of back printing, not much, and so does Betty. All right, continuing with the humans in the set, you obviously have Peter Parker and his camera. Love the jacket they have on him. He just was wearing blue jeans. We have Ben Urich, and then we have Robbie Robinson. So awesome little minifigs. These characters do show up somewhere in the universe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the lore or anything behind them. With Peter Parker and Ben, you do have the back printing on them, none on Robbie. So really nice minifigs. The nice thing about these minifigs is you can kind of incorporate them into your other sets if you're just doing like a Lego City or things like that, or even the pieces of these characters look really good. Just kind of regular minifigs. I do appreciate them being in the set though. I think if you're a big super fan of Spider-Man, you will definitely love to have these characters in your collection. All right, let's keep going here. Almost done. We have Aunt May with her tray of cookies and the scared face on her. She does have 2 faces. We have Amber Grant and Bernie the cab driver. So again, with these characters, great to have in your arsenal just because they look like regular people and you can put them really anywhere in your collection or your Lego City or whatever you want to do. They all do have back printing on them. I love Aunt May's tray of cookies. I think it's hilarious. I always want to come up with some kind of backstory of why she's on the sidewalk getting chased by Sandman with a plate of cookies. So Bernie the cab driver will go over his cab in a second. There's some really cool details in the cab. And Amber Grant, she sits in the newsstand, and on the newsstand there are some cool details of the newspapers on there. I believe Kingpin is on the back of it. But it's really, really neat. And last but not least, we have Gwen Stacy, Ben Barney, and the rat as a honorable mention, just because in the book of instructions, they do allude that he is the rat from Infinity War, or at least pays homage to him. So again, great minifigs. Gwen Stacy's looks really good. I wish we would have put her in a different spot. She just kind of sits in the lobby. Again, this is all just, I put them in the spots from the box. So you probably could put her wherever you want. Ben Barney does have 2 faces. I'm thinking Gwen Stacy only has the one. Could be wrong about that one. And then you do have the little rat here. He sits on the side of the building. But both have back printing. Both minifigs look great. Again, very happy with these minifigs. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this series on all of my Marvel sets that I have. Like I said, this isn't going to be the last Marvel set, but just so as I keep getting more Legos, I just got another Indiana Jones one, so that'll probably be the next video. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one of the Daily Bugle. It is such a cool set. If you're going to buy it, again, I highly recommend getting this one. I think it is for sale right now at Kohl's website. You'd have to check though. And then Black Friday, I'm assuming they're gonna have some sales. This one I believe is gonna be retiring soon. So if you wanna get it, it is probably kind of a last chance time to get this set new. There are some of the Marvel sets that are coming out. I'm thinking about getting a couple of those. Those might be coming up too. But if you enjoyed this series, please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.